Welcome, everybody. Here we go. It is that time again. Happy Wednesday. Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. It is Wednesday, February 3rd, 2021, and I am not alone.
Hello.
Jenny is here at the news desk. Yes,
I'm having a marvelous day.
Oh, good.
I have a spring in my step.
Well, there you go.
It's a good day.
There you go. So welcome, everybody. Of course, we are live on WMNH 95.3 FM and also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester, streaming at WMNHradio.org, as well as the Facebook on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. And we want to remind you, of course, because it is Wednesday, so they are open today, the Hop Knot.
Yeah.
Our wonderful sponsor right across the street in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street. Wednesday is trivia night, and but that's just one of the many great things there. In addition to the delicious gourmet pretzels, and they have craft beer, they have wine,
Soups.
They have what?
Soups.
Oh, I thought you said foops. I was like,
Soups.
what? Oh, soups. Yes.
Oh, the soups are so good.
Well, it is that
And
time
you
of
can
year.
get it in a pretzel bowl.
Yes.
And that's just like delish. I like getting the mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Because it soaks into the crust, and it's just, oh my God, it's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, now I'm making myself hungry.
Yes. At some point, we'll have to try that. Is it a pizza pretzel or a pretzel pizza?
It's a pretzel pizza.
Yes, we'll have to try that at some point
From
very
a
soon.
pretzel place. Not
Yes.
see what I mean? Like, you got to
Right,
highlight
it's not a
the
pizza
most-
place, it's a pretzel
Right,
place.
it's a pretzel place, so it's a pretzel pizza instead of a pizza pretzel. And I don't think a pizza pretzel would be very good because they're good at pizza, not so much the other.
Well, how do you know?
Because I said, when it's a pretzel place, you say pretzel pizza.
I know, but they could be good at
When it's a
both.
pizza place, you say pizza pretzel.
Okay.
Say
All
that
right.
5 times fast.
Well-
Peter Piper picked a pack of...
Yes. And they do a really cool thing there, too. If you buy the Hop Knot face mask, which is really cool, it's black, it's got the Hop Knot logo on it, it's $10. And then if you wear that when you go in to pick up food, you get 10% off. So it's like it's almost like a frequent shopper card,
Right?
but in the form of a face mask, which
And you
is
know
awesome.
what else? It's been so freaking cold out there lately. That mask actually helps to keep my nosy warm.
Yeah.
It does. That mask, the Hop Knot mask, actually is really great for the weather.
Yeah, there really is. There's less of an excuse than there ever was not to mask up because it's
Seriously.
cold out. So put
It
on the
is.
mask and it'll keep your face warm.
I had 3 things around my head.
Huh?
My hair was wet, so I had like 3 different things around my head to keep it from freezing.
Oh, yes, because you went to the pool at the Y. Yes,
And
absolutely.
It got cold when I came out of there.
Yeah.
So I had on a hoodie, and I had on a scarf.
Yes. Warm day, though. Mild.
Yeah,
Mild
but
day.
but it's still cold.
Overall,
Cold when your head's wet. It's cold.
we're having a pretty easy winter overall.
I know,
which is nice, yeah.
We really haven't. We've barely gotten.
Only had 2 big storms and a couple small
I'm sorry,
storms.
that last one kind of fizzled out on us. Like, I thought it was going to be like a 2-day kind of snowed in popcorn movie kind of thing, and I didn't even pop the popcorn.
Some places in the state got a lot of snow. Like Seacoast got like 16 inches, I think.
Oh, I'm not complaining. They can keep it.
We got half that here. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want it.
Absolutely. One other thing, too, I like to remind people about the Hop Knot that I love is that, it's very safe there. The staff is masked, speaking of masks, at all times, even out back in the kitchen. And the tables are nice and spread apart, and they do clean and sanitize very diligently and consistently. They take it very seriously.
They are. Which is
at the
good.
Hop Knot.
Everybody should be.
Yes.
I mean, at this point, the science is in. You're either a science believer or a science denier. There's no middle ground on this.
Right. We have our first call of the show today.
Hello. Oh, not yet.
Oh, not yet. Here we go. Hi,
sorry.
welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this? Jeet?
Yo! It's the D-Man.
The D-Man?
Yeah.
Well, it's
That does not work.
Anyone ever call you the D-Man, Tony D?
Call me the swinging D.
Oh, well,
no,
that's definitely a discussion for the other program.
Oh, gee.
Yes. Yes.
They call me.
Oh, okay.
Who's they? Who's they? That's what inquiring minds.
If you go to TonyDShow.com, you can become a subscriber, and you can become a Swinging D, and you get a free T-shirt, a hat, a mug.
Ooh.
Very nice. Rocking the merch. Very good. Very good.
You could. I got another word for you.
All right. Our word of the day.
What's today's word of the day?
From Philly.
Ion.
What is it?
Ion.
Ion?
Ion?
I-O-N. I-O-N.
Ion.
Ion?
Yeah. Well, just the way you say it. Ion. Ion.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
Do you know what I'm saying?
What are we trying to say?
So,
I am?
So if you say, I don't know, like really quick, it comes out, I am.
There you go, Matt. There you go.
Okay, but what are we actually trying to say out quick? I don't get it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
So if Matt says,
I don't know.
So if Matt says to me, Tony, what do you think about this whole political stuff that's going on with Donald Trump? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
I-O-N.
Yeah. See, I like it seems like in that area you're very you're very committed to economy of language,
seriously, right?
Expressing yourselves in a very concise, rapid,
I don't know,
way.
3 words condensed into 1 syllable.
Very direct.
Questionable there.
It makes it so much simpler in a text message. You have no idea.
You sure we should be leaning from stuff from these people?
That's a great point, though, because I assume this has been going on for generations there, Tony, which would indicate that it predates texting, which would then indicate that Philadelphia is ahead of its time.
That's true. I will take that. I will take that.
Yes.
I will take that. So I don't want to call in twice today with my breaking news of the music world, because Matt, we know you're a rockhead. Jenny, you're a rockhead. I'm a rockhead. But I got another article that came out today. I'm really, really following this Marilyn Manson stuff.
Yeah.
And Wes Borland of Limp Bizkit came out today on a written statement and said he has seen Marilyn Manson abuse this girl in person.
No kidding.
What?
Wow.
I'm having a hard time.
The guitar player for Limp Bizkit, Wes Borland, I think that's how you
Wes Borland, yep.
Borland, yeah. He came out on paper today and stated at a show he has seen Marilyn Manson abuse this girl in person.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
I'm looking that up now.
Metalinjection.com broke that today.
Oh, my gosh, that's
Susan,
awful.
I've been following this since it broke, man. It's like huge for me because I'm a big metalhead.
Yep. Loudwire is reporting it. That was the first one that came up when I Googled Wes Borland just now, 4 hours ago. Wes Borland says allegations against Marilyn Manson are true. Wow.
Yep.
And he has, and I would just say...
He could be facing some serious jail time.
And I would just say Wes Borland has nothing to gain from making something like that up.
No, not at all.
Nothing.
I mean,
what is he going to gain? Fame? He's already famous. What's he going to gain? Record deal? He's already got that.
Yeah.
What's he going to gain?
Right.
He's just backing it up. And believe it or not, he's a very, very intelligent man.
Oh, he is.
Some of his sit-down interviews are absolutely stunning with Wes.
Yeah.
Some of the stories that he has said, he's very intellectually intelligent when it comes to holding a conversation when it comes to serious matters. There's no way, shape, or form that I think that this is a fabricated story by any means coming out of his mouth. Because like you said, what are you going to gain from this?
Right.
You know what this is going to do now? This is going to cause this effect now in the metal industry, or just rock. You're going to start seeing other rock people get thrown under the bus now. It's going to start happening because, if he wants to do it to me, then I'm going to do it to him. And you're going to probably start seeing a bunch of people in the rock industry. And it wouldn't surprise me if one name comes up that I've been so curious about since this broke is the lead singer of Stone Sour and Slipknot, Corey Taylor, that he is going to have some type of story, because I read his book, 7 Deadly Sins, and I'll tell you what, there's some stuff that he was holding back in that book. And I'm telling you, if it comes out, he's the next one on the list that I think that's going to be put out on the front. Interesting.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you, from the beginning of, the Me Too movement, and then it sort of morphed into, or Me Too 2.0 was, the speaking out movement, which is what people are calling it now. there's been a lot of talk about what happens when it's the music and when the music industry, when it's their turn or our turn. I mean, I have some experience in the music industry. What happens when, because my God, if there's any place where you're going to hear a lot of stories, it's in the music industry where I mean, look, like, Tony, Jenny and I were older, but like when we were growing up in the hair metal era, I mean, the looking back on it now, and a lot of it I was even cognizant of then as a kid, the disrespect and the what's the word I'm looking for? The objectification.
There you go.
Objectification of women. In your typical rock video, and then you hear the
stories from our era.
Yeah.
Motley Crue.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we watched
White
that.
Zombie.
The Dirt.
Yeah.
White. There, and there was an acceptance level of how you could treat a super fan, or what was the term we used it before? Before super fan.
Well, groupie.
Groupie, a groupie.
Yeah.
Because the groupies will do, and they would do anything to get backstage. The abuses that went on with the staff, the backstage staff, not even just the musicians themselves, but the people who let them back there, and
right.
There was an acceptability to what you could say or do with women, not just and rock in the rock era. Really, our generation really fed into that.
Yeah,
scantily clad. She's got legs. Scantily clad woman, we're going to make her look even better. We're going to take her out of her little frumpy thing and put her in something else. I mean, our generation was seriously about just, excess. Just too much of everything.
Yeah.
Too much drugs, too much rock and roll, too
that
much
was
alcohol.
The 80s. Yep.
Bigger is better. Geez, we did that with everything, including our hair. I mean, it was literally...
I mean, if you want to get technical... Power of Love with Huey Lewis. You know that song, right?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. There was a scandal that was out maybe about a year ago about the recording of that video with Huey. Now, I don't remember how far
really?
it went, but I didn't look too far into it. But, I guess you might beg to differ. I think Huey Lewis is like a one-hit wonder type deal.
No, he had quite a few hits.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, Power of Love is the one that sticks out. But there was a scandal I don't know if it was a money grab or something like that a couple of years ago. But there was a scandal that someone was trying to say that the recording of that video, because I believe he recorded that video, if I'm not mistaken, it was Huey Lewis and the News maybe or something like that.
Yeah, Huey Lewis and the News.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a scandal that went out that someone from the group was doing. It was this whole. It was like I don't know if it was a money grab thing, but where we're at right now with the metal industry, and it's crazy because of this pandemic. All of this crap is coming out now, and people have time, and they just had enough.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be surprising to me, man. I'd love to hear what Paulie C would have to say about this, because he's a huge music guy too.
Yeah.
Would it surprise you? In the next couple of months, that all of a sudden all these artists that you looked up to, all of a sudden have all this stuff being thrown out to them through the walls. Remember when Hulk Hogan had all that with the WWE stuff when he was cheating on his wife and all that stuff came out?
Yeah.
And you remember how that kind of escalated, and then there was other superstars that were involved that knew about it, and there was all these names that were being thrown into the mix. That's where I'm going with this. How many other names are going to be thrown and tied to this Manson thing that people were hiding things? Is it going to be like an Epstein thing?
But you're talking about you're talking about a generation of artists that some of them, unfortunately, a great deal of them that you're going to find in this situation anyway, are they felt like they deserved it. They earned the right.
Yeah.
They deserved to get what they wanted from a woman or a man, for that matter. I mean, it
fame and money and power kind of breeds that. It's human. It's human nature. Not that I don't say that to excuse it or rationalize it, but it is. I'm just saying it is. And
I earned the right to the private plane and the sexily clad women's that want to come with me. Well, hey, I earned it.
Yeah,
it's mine to have, right?
I mean, it's kind of the psychology of fame.
I'll just be interested to see what happens here in the next couple of days. How many other people are going to come out, throw this dude under the bus?
Yeah.
It's the tail end of a major shift too for all of us in humanity, as being women not being the owned by men in the United States anyway. Granted, that kind of thinking still goes on, with what do they call it, chaperone rules, or what they have over in Saudi Arabia, for example. But here in the United States, you can go back and you can. I was watching a program that showed one of the old Tonight shows, and this actor was on there, and he literally referred to his wife as his property. Mm-hmm. And there was another actress.
I love the sound of that fire truck.
Oh, yeah, right? I know. I miss it. I miss it terribly.
Makes me want to go back to be a firefighter.
Oh, God, if I could be an EMT again, I would totally do that. But seriously, like our parents' generation was grow up, graduate from high school, get married, have kids, get a good job. That was the thing to do. And for women, it was grow up, find a husband, get married, have a kid. It wasn't go off to college, get a career, be the first. It was none of that. It wasn't that kind of thinking. And our generation is like the tail end of that ownership thought process. Huh?
Does it surprise you, though, that Manson's getting these allegations today? Like, does it surprise you? Like, it doesn't surprise me.
Honestly, it does. I really thought it was an act. I really thought that what he did was for the shock value. He always talked about that. And I did believe that to be true, that I did not think that he would be... I didn't see that there.
It's not a total shock to me, only for one reason, just something that stands out in my mind from, I think 20 years ago. I remember reading an interview, and I can't remember the guy's name. He had a guitar player. I was going to say Twiggy, but that's the bass player. He had a guitar player who ended up leaving the band, who said that he saw some things backstage with Manson that were genuinely disturbing, and hinted that it had to do with women, with young women. And he didn't go any further with it than that. But it's always, I can't remember the guy's name. He left Marilyn Manson and started a band called Two Ton Gate, I think it was. Which didn't go anywhere.
A guitar player?
He was a guitar player, yeah. I cannot remember his name. But I remember in an interview after he left the band, it was in one of those old, I don't think it's around anymore, it's probably long gone, Metal Edge magazine.
Oh, John, you're talking about Johnny Five.
No, not him. A less well-known guy who only played with Manson for a short time. Yeah, it wasn't John Five. It was a different guy, a more obscure guy, which is probably why I can't remember his name. But
Daisy Berkowitz?
No, it wasn't Daisy either. It might have been who replaced Daisy, because I think Daisy left and then somebody else came in. I'd have to look at Wikipedia. But
there's one more. There's only one more guitar player, Timothy Linton, also known as Zim Zoom.
That's not familiar to me either. That's
he replaced Daisy.
What
in
year?
96.
In 96? That's got to be the guy. That doesn't sound right, though. Anyway, there was some.
His actual name's Timothy Linton, better known as Zim Zoom, joined Manson as a live guitarist in 96, replacing Daisy Berkowitz, who had recently departed due to the harassment of his bandmates, particularly Manson.
Maybe it was Daisy who said it, but I thought it was the next one. Okay. Well, anyway, but I read that, and that always stuck with me. That comment that individual, whoever it was, made. Maybe it must have been Zim Zoom, about Manson, and I never forgot that. And I never heard anyone else say anything like that, but I never forgot it.
I really thought that his whole thing was really just.
Well, you would hope.
That's what I thought it was, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I've been told more than once I tend to see too much of the good people that I don't see.
Well, we're all guilty of that.
But you know what, too, though? Think about it. Like when I was talking about generational, like when Elvis Presley and Lisa Marie, right, got together, there wasn't a big public outcry about their relationship. It was and he actually in the beginning had he had custody of her. He had like legal custody of her that her parents had allowed him to sign for.
Yeah.
You know, and then when she got older, when she got married, they was after she was 18. But like seriously, who does that? Who gives the custody of their child to somebody who's 25 years older or 30 years older than her?
I I was disturbed by Manson in 2011 when he co-headlined for Trivium, which is I don't know if you know who they are, but they're a Southern California band.
Trivium, yeah.
And he opened up for them, and he took a beer bottle, smashed it on the ground, and cut his arm, and started wiping his own blood on his face and all over this white suit that he had on. And I was like, I'm sitting there, and like, I'm not a big
okay, yeah, but wait a minute. Yeah, but wait a minute. Kiss put their own blood in the first printing of their comic book. They actually flew down there and put their blood in the red ink. That's a truism. That's a truth. They even talk about it, right, Matt?
Oh, yeah.
I'm right about that, right?
Yeah.
So there's another incident.
Publicity stunt, yeah.
Exactly. Or there was,
It was, I found it. You were right, Tony. It was Daisy Berkowitz.
Okay.
Yep. Who made the allegation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to clog up the line. I just wanted to hit you with that article at the beginning of the show before you got, all into your serious stuff, because I know we've been kind of following that for the last 3 days. So
yeah.
Just wanted to hit you with that because, every day there's something new that's coming out and all these people are dropping them. So I think the next thing that's going to happen here is he's going to wind up going to jail. The days of the Manson head is done.
Oh, his career is over. Yeah, there's no coming back from this.
This is another symptom of what we're going through as a society, and it's a beautiful transition away from allowing people to, go after people based on their sexuality, or men, I'm sorry to say it, but to, tell a woman what they're going to do with them in order for them to have a job or something like that. We're coming away from that now as a society. In my parents' generation, it was perfectly normal for a young lady to be told that she'd go to home ec class and what she should want is to have a husband and a child, and a house to keep. It wasn't about getting a job and getting a career and getting things like that. It was about get married, have a kid. Now we tell young ladies, look, you can be the vice president of the United States of America. This is an entirely different world that way. Civil rights. We're seeing now, finally, can't you see the difference? Like now we're seeing a difference in the way news is reporting incidences of cops and black men. It's not being said the same way as it used to be. People nowadays, today, and you can see it all over YouTube, are calling people out for being inappropriate in public, for saying something racist. I don't see how many white women I've seen now getting in their face and taking them out for using the N-word instead of just going, oh, they're just going to do that. We're changing as a society. And as we do, more of the seedy nastiness that has been hidden under the radar, so to speak, is going to come to the surface. And hopefully those are the people that we're going to get out of our society and will go on in a more positive way, I hope.
Right.
But seriously, do you think it's different?
Clear the line. Let me clear the line.
All right.
Talk to me, guys, and we'll see what happens in the next couple of days here with Mr. Manson. So I'll give you a shout tomorrow, bud.
Absolutely. Sounds great. All right. Thank you, Tony.
I think I shared this. Good.
All right. Bye-bye.
I don't know if I shared this once before. I think I might have told you about the story, though, Matt. When I was when I was about 20 years old, I was working for a placement agency that, you'd get it was a fill-in kind of thing for receptionists and stuff like that. And I got sent to this guy's office, a lawyer, and it was just him in the office. And like I said, I was about 20 and he was about 70. And he asked me to come into his office, and I'm standing next to him, and he literally put his hand on my leg and brought it up under my skirt. That I had, by the way, been told I needed to dress like a lady for this job. I was supposed to wear a skirt or a dress. And of course, I jumped out of my skin. I left there in a panic and all upset. Told them what happened and said, I'm not going to go back. They said, we don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have the job. If you can't suck it up, buttercup, and put up with it, you don't get to have the job. That's literally how I was treated. Yeah. Nowadays, today's society, if that same situation happened, there are a ton of things that I can do about it and have a voice.
Yeah.
And there are people to hold him accountable instead of saying, well, he's a man. What do you expect?
Right. Just quickly from Loudwire, this is what Tony was talking about. Former Marilyn Manson and longtime Limp Bizkit guitarist Wes Borland has spoken out on the singer, publicly stating that the allegations against the musician are true, adding that he was around when Evan Rachel Wood was dating the Antichrist superstar. Earlier this week, Evan Rachel Wood and 4 additional women accused Marilyn Manson of physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. Wood famously testified to Congress in 2018, detailing an abusive relationship to advocate for a sexual assault survivors bill. She initially left her ex-partner unnamed, but came forward on February 1, identifying Marilyn Manson as her abuser. Wes Borland joined Marilyn Manson's band in 2008. I actually forgot that had happened, lasting less than a year before reuniting with Limp Bizkit, hence why I probably forgot. While speaking with the Twitch channel Space Zebra, Borland sounded off on Marilyn Manson and said this, quote, "Marilyn Manson, I was in the band for 9 months. He's not a great guy. Every single thing that people have said about him is true.
Wow.
So relax about the allegations towards the women. Like when people say bad things about these women that are coming after him right now, blank off, they are speaking the truth. I'm sorry to everyone on this podcast right now who doesn't like this, but that guy, he's amazingly talented, but he's blanked up and needs to be put in check, and he needs to get sober, and he needs to come to terms with his demons. He is a bad guy."
Wow.
I was there when he was with Evan Rachel Wood. I was at his house. It's not cool. That's all I'm going to say about it. If anyone is coming after these girls and going like, you blah, 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 this and that, blank you, that's all I'm going to say. Sorry to take this to a dark place, but that guy is canceled. Goodbye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, unquote. Wow.
Wow. You know what, though? That also kind of brings to mind where I was talking about how we're changing as a society. We live in a day and age now where men will actually say, that guy's a scuzz. He's not a good person. Now, how cool is that somebody would actually be able to say that? To be able to say, look, I can validate that claim. I was there. I can see it. I saw it. I'm going to say it. That's not the way our society used to be. And it's not that long ago. It's not going back that far.
Well, I don't think anyone says scuzz anymore.
Why not?
That's that
creepy?
Word. That's
no. I can say creepy instead.
Well, I'm just saying. I don't think anyone uses the words. That's
Is that a bad word?
Well, no.
I thought that meant dirt. Icky.
It's just it's just a little it's a little dated. Remember,
I was raised by the wrong generation.
We got to keep the show. Well, no, it's just people said that like when we were kids. Like
I was raised with like great aunts.
We got to keep the show to appeal to that young hip audience. You know, we need to keep the vernacular really young and fresh. You know. I need the listeners to think I'm a hep cat and not some jive turkey.
Yeah, no, that's not going to work.
So we have to keep it fresh with a PH, fresh.
You know what you're going to do?
PHRESH.
You got to grow the monkey tail.
What?
You didn't see the monkey tail?
Wow.
I saw it. No, there's been some stories going around of men growing in their beards and mustaches, but where the beard like comes down from the ear to under the chin, but then it curls around the mouth, comes underneath the nose, right on the top lip, and then stops right there. So it's like a monkey tail.
Yeah, I shan't ever be doing that.
So like on one side of the face, it only has a little curl, right? It's not going to have any hair on one side. And you'll have hair come down your cheek, go right around your mouth, and whip it around like a little kitty tail. See, we do only call it a monkey tail.
Yeah. No,
yeah, that's hip. That's today.
I don't know how hip and today it is.
It's today. It's what I saw.
Okay.
And that's new, so it must be today.
All right.
Not tomorrow. I mean, not yesterday. Now I'm lost.
Well, if you'd like to call in, 603-250-6007 is the number, 603-250-6007. You can also text us at 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. Also, too, if you go to mattconnerton.com and click Listen Live, you can there's a place there where you can leave comments and so forth, and a way that you can contact the show directly through the site if you would prefer to do that. So you have no shortage of options to reach out and get in touch. We should say hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat.
We haven't done that yet, Maddie. You're like totally slacking today.
Well, it's been
20 minutes in, you didn't say hi yet.
Busy show so far.
I don't know.
20 minutes.
Yeah,
We're 40 minutes in.
Oh, shoot.
It flies by.
It did.
Scott Robinson is in the Facebook live chat. Hello, Scott. I see Texas Mike. Yeehaw. Hello. Brian Mackey, all the way from Idaho, is in the chat room. Abigail Jem also joins us. Hello, Abigail. Let's see. Abigail points out thrown under the bus. It's not throwing them if they are guilty. Women should speak out. Yeah, I don't think Tony meant that phrase. Well, yeah, Tony, I think, was misusing that phrase a little bit. Throwing someone under the bus usually means you're talking bad about someone who doesn't necessarily deserve it. I think Tony just misspoke when he used that phrase.
Yeah.
But of course. I mean, obviously, if they're guilty, they should be talked about.
And it's nice to see the good old boys club not being the good old boys club anymore.
Bobby Champagne sarcastically throwing some shade at the people who still don't, the COVID deniers. He says, COVID-19, fake news, just the flu, except I've lost my dad and aunt and 2 close personal friends in less than a year. Thank God it's nothing serious. Yeah. Bobby bringing some well-deserved sarcasm. Absolutely. Tom Blanchard made a comment, an interesting observation about what we were discussing a moment ago. He said the common denominator there is too much money. And I think there is something to that psychologically. These rich, powerful people who are abusive to women. Because I think, I mean, obviously it's not the money in and of itself, but I think when you're rich and powerful, I mean, look, sociologists will tell you, there's been studies done about this, that as people accumulate more wealth and power, their level of empathy goes down.
Some people get drunk with power.
Oh, sure. Yeah. They say, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Yeah. You almost hate to say it because it's such a cliche, but it's actually true. So there is something psychologically that happens. Obviously, it doesn't happen to everybody. I mean, lots of people.
It happens in a lot of different ways, too. Because when I was on the board of directors for that one organization, you and I use stuff that we have at home. Anyway, boy, my brain just went out to lunch, Maddie.
Well, some people...
I just went into fog zone.
You might have been going, some people...
No, I do know what it was. Basically, we would get a lot of people that would come to the organization and want to do things, and they wanted to take a position. That you give them the title, and then they disappear. And they don't actually do... They want the title, they want the prestige of it, but they don't want to actually do the work.
Yeah.
I think that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. But I mean, to be fair, I mean, some people who have a lot of money give a lot of money away and do a lot for philanthropy, for charity. My idols, Kiss, Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons, they do a lot of that.
Yeah.
They do a lot for charity. However, I do have to acknowledge Gene Simmons was accused of, and I think they settled this out of court. A couple of years ago, he was, I think it was someone who worked for a radio station. He was accused of touching someone inappropriately while they were being photographed. And he denied it, but I think they settled that. But that's the only thing that I know of. And Paul's never been accused of anything that I'm aware of. But, but they, some people try to do great things with their money. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who have a lot of money who do great things with their money, and they have a side to them that's pretty sleazy that developed over the course of accumulating that wealth.
Now that you say that, that's the case with Elvis.
Yeah.
When I went to Graceland, there is this amazing room that you just to see it is just mind-boggling. It seemed to go on forever, and all around you, taped up onto the walls and everywhere, were all these different philanthropy things that Elvis did, and people never realized, didn't know. He would just write a check for the local girls club or something. He was just constantly giving back in his community. Always. He's known for that. There's awards there, all over the place from different governors and people trying to say thank you to him in some way for everything he would do. But he was very much involved. That Prince was like that too. Very much involved with the community in Minneapolis and giving back in that community.
But it's, but Elvis too is an example of where it's complex, because Elvis did great things for charity, but Elvis also, by many accounts, was not a great guy. So, these
are the kind of things that come out with stuff like that. I mean, if you're going to play around in the public pool, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, geez, right? And Elvis isn't the only one either that ever had custody of their wife before they were their wife. It's not the only incident. It's happened with other stars.
Yeah,
it's just weird how people who get
I don't know of another example of that specifically. I mean,
there is another one. Well, it was something I read earlier.
I mean, there's Jerry Lee Lewis, but they were able to just flat out get married.
There's another one with an artist, and I'm sorry I can't think of it.
And it was his cousin, but she was a minor.
Oh, jeez. And the cousin, okay.
Abigail says it's all about money, and then I lost the comment. She said something about money, and it's all about money and masculinity and power, I think. And then I lost the comment. We'll come back to it if I can find it again.
Yeah, sorry, sweetie. We're trying to follow.
Scott Robinson in the chat room was asking about the entertainment report. I believe EZG is calling in tomorrow. With the entertainment report, which reminds me, too, by the way, a programming note. Tomorrow night, because it's the first Thursday of the month, immediately following this program, I will be on the Dr. Kevin Show tomorrow night at 6 p.m. For those of you who get to the end of this 2 hours and you say, oh, my God, I need more Matt Connarton. You'll be able to get another hour of me on the Dr. Kevin Show.
Connartonitis.
Oh, that's a terrible affliction.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's an inflammation. Of the ears.
Oh. Mm. All right.
Oh, my.
What? Something in the chat room?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Probably something I can't read?
Yeah. Somebody was just mentioning some photographs they're hanging on to.
Oh, I gotcha.
I just thought it was caught me a little off guard. I was laughing.
Oh, yes. Oh, maybe I should play a Photograph by Nickelback at the break.
Oh.
The only problem is...
Wait a minute, there's another one on Photograph. No.
Well, there's Def Leppard Photograph.
Yeah, REO Speedwagon?
I don't know.
No.
The only problem with that Nickelback song is if I play it, there's a chance that I'm going to need to find a bucket to vomit into, so I probably won't play that.
Yeah, that's true. Well, the same goes in either direction, whether you listen to the song or see the pictures.
Right.
Yeah. I got purple puke bags.
Oh, that's true.
Just so you know, yeah. Instead of the blue ones. Didn't want to blend in.
Rocky Huber is in the Facebook live chat. Hello, Rocky. Just want to make sure we don't miss anybody in here. Yeah, there are some things I can't really read. Oh, Rocky says, my daughter is 9, and I tell her she is going to be the first female general in the Space Force. That's something I'll play at the top of the show. I'll play one of those fun Space Force songs, definitely. Bobby Champagne says, I love the sound of that Space Force.
Space Force.
Rocky says...
Warp speed. No, wait. That was a different thing.
I need to see that movie. I hear a lot of references from it referring to Spaceballs. I'll tell you what.
Seriously, that's all I can think of when you say that's the movie I think of every single time.
I find Spaceballs problematic, and I'll tell you why. And I've only heard one other person say this, and it was Anthony Cumia, formerly of the Opie and Anthony show. The problem with Spaceballs is this. It's not that funny, except for the scenes with Rick Moranis as Dark Helmet. If you took that movie and you took out everything else and you just left in the scenes with Rick Moranis as Dark Helmet, you'd have a very funny short film. Everything else about the movie, in my opinion, sucks. It's not funny. John Candy is not funny in it. John Candy as Barf, and that's supposed to be it's like he's a dog version of a Wookiee. It's like it's not funny.
You're upset
it's
because
stupid.
You're the only reason you think that is because of the eunuch scene.
No.
Yes.
That's not why.
Yeah, you're disturbed by that.
I don't even remember that scene actually.
When they're cutting off their,
willies. That actually is funny. But
wait, you like the Woody cutter off
part?
But
other than that, Rick Moranis is really the best thing in the. He's got all the best lines.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. But, it kind of seems like that's the direction, doesn't it? I literally cannot hear Space Force without thinking of Spaceballs. Nope.
Yeah. Let's see. People are talking about being blocked from other people. DJ Midas is in the Facebook Live chat. DJ Midas, of course, host of Late Night Delight, which you can hear every Saturday night beginning at 12 midnight all the way to 4 a.m. with a replay on Sunday night right here on WMNH.
Love to paint for that. I get out my paint, my canvas. I go to town.
Jeff Nyan is in the chat room. Jeff is asking a question that I cannot answer because we don't discuss that individual anymore.
No free publicity.
She is dead to us.
Buried.
Let's see.
Concrete cover. Maybe some pretty flowers on top.
But she's in the chat room and...
saying things that are not even correct.
Of course, making veiled threats.
I know, and that's why I'm having a hard time over here.
What a troll.
Did I ever tell you there was a cartoon with me before? It was fun.
Yeah.
I got made into a cartoon.
Yeah?
Did I tell you that?
Yes.
Should I tell you that?
Well, the listeners might not have heard it, so you might as well.
Okay, so, oh gosh, as we were talking about stuff, I was a state rep for a few years, and I put in this bill one year about the border towns, and it was kind of a cool idea, and the idea was to basically let people have signs put up where they were crossing the border, and those signs would be donated by the local businesses, so the local businesses would get the free publicity because their names would be up on the sign. But of course, I got lambasted for doing it. And one of the local papers, I think it was the Concord Monitor, came out with this wicked cool cartoon. And it's a car with like New Hampshire plates driving by a sign that says, "Welcome to Massachusetts. Put on your seatbelt, put on your helmet," like all the things that you have to do, the difference between the borders, get your car insurance, all of that. Oh my God, it was adorable. I thought it was so funny. It was the one and only time I got made into a cartoon.
Yeah.
And I loved it. But, that's life as a public servant.
Right.
I got lambasted more than once, and other times I got kudos. It depended on what it was.
Yes.
But it was so friggin' funny.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my seriously. I feel like that was like getting up in there when I got made into a cartoon. Now, the one time that my name did show up in a place that scared me was when it showed up on Stormfront, a white supremacist website. That actually happened.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But, it's like I said, it's the nature of the game. I got contacted by the FBI once, or I had to contact them once, as there was a dude sending threatening letters, and they tracked him down. It turned out he was like some guy in Canada who just did that a lot. He would randomly send people weird stuff. It was bizarre. What's up?
Miriam Banish is a top fan. Hello, Miriam. Rocky Huber says, "No Nickelback, please." Yeah, I was definitely kidding about that. Let's see.
Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah, Tony D is clarifying in the chat room. He's telling Abigail, sorry, didn't mean for the throwing under the bus to sound like it's okay. When I say that, I'm pretty much stating that their dirty laundry is coming forward. Sorry for my delivery. Oh, yeah, no worry. No, we know what you meant, obviously. Rocky Huber says Nickelback doesn't like Nickelback. Now they like cashing those big...
That's not nice.
They like cashing those big checks, though. I actually had a person say to me once, this was well over a decade ago, but someone I just met said to me, we were talking briefly about music, and he said something about Nickelback's album, which one is it, Long Road Home, maybe, being the best album ever recorded. And I remember ending the conversation by saying something like, I have to go and never speak with you again. Eric,
I have a visual in my head now that's killing me.
Yeah. Oh, can only imagine. Eric Street is in the Facebook live chat, quoting Spaceballs. Eric's a top fan.
Bobby's funny.
Ludicrous Speed. That is the Ludicrous Speed thing is funny, Eric.
Okay, that.
But I'm talking about though overall though the movie really is Rick Moranis is the best thing.
In its time, it was a cool, funny movie.
Oh, Midas.
Now it seems kind of campy and stuff, but it's gonna cult following.
People still love it. Oh, Midas agrees. Midas says yes. Spaceballs is not that funny. Thank you.
There you go.
Christian Lacoste is discussing a subject that we're not going to get into, but
more than one actually.
But I will be. I'll go back and read that later on my own after the show because it looks interesting.
I got some popcorn at home.
Yeah,
for us. By the way, picked that up last night. Thought it might come in handy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got the extra butter on it. You like the extra butter one, right?
Oh, I do. Yes.
I thought so. So I got that one. Oh my gosh!
Wow. I kind of figured something like this would happen. Boy. Some people have a lot of free time. My God. Oh, Peter White is in
Needs
the Facebook.
More hours.
Peter White is in the Facebook live chat. Oh, hello there. Hello, Peter White, of course, from The Morning Show with Peter White, which you can hear weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. with a replay from 2 to 4 p.m. Right before this show. The chat room has been taken over by this.
Can I have some fries?
Can you? Oh, you want some? You know what? Well, let's take a break, actually.
I think we need to.
Because I don't know about...
I might have an accident as I'm laughing too much.
Well, I have something to play. Now, this is not a new sponsor per se. This is like a one-off.
Oh, okay.
I'll just share. I think the Nashua McDonald's wanted us to play this. Apparently
okay, cool.
They have a great staff there. So
I heard they make good fries.
We'll listen to this, and then we'll show some love to our real sponsors as well.
Exactly.
Here we go.
Hello, and welcome to McDonald's. You've probably heard we're revamping our image.
But you may not know about all the wonderful new changes in store for our customers.
You've seen our hot new hipster Hamburglar.
But have you seen the new Grimace? He used to be such a sourpuss.
But now, he's a magnet.
Uh-huh. We also have a new burger for all you tree huggers out there who are too snobby to eat fresh patties from enormous vats of ground-up cows. The McCarrot Burger. Healthy and delicious.
But don't worry, we've still got all the classics, like the Big Mac.
And we're not going to change the Big Mac or the special sauce inside it. Our founder's grandson's great-nephew Randy's been making it, whatever it is, for 45 years.
I make it at home in the back room, late at night.
Now let's talk dessert.
The apple filling in our baked apple pie was too hot for some people, so we replaced it with something a lot cooler. Gumballs. All right.
And of course, there have been a lot of questions about just what kind of fish is in the fillet of fish. It's fish, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's a
fish! But we're not just updating the menu, we're upgrading the entire McXperience. Karen, do you remember those complaints from moms about the cleanliness of the ball pit at the play place?
I sure do, Jeff, but not to worry. Those ball pits will be scrubbed clean by our new global head of Play Place Cleanliness, Randy.
They told me I could legally wash the children's
Whoa! Don't worry about how that sounds. Randy will only be allowed to clean when our locations are closed.
Dang it.
Wait a minute. We almost forgot about Ronald.
Studies show that Ronald McDonald actually scares the shit out of children, so he's now known as health expert Ronald McDoctor.
Hi. Nothing is healthier than eating at McDonald's. Try our gumball pies. They're very slimming.
Thanks, Doc. Hey, Jeff, isn't it about time for our jingle?
You mean, I'm loving it?
No, silly, the new one.
Oh, yeah. Hit it, maestro.
Mickey D's, you have no other choice at the airport.
So come on down to the new McDonald's, which is now called Anywhere But McDonald's.
As in, where do you want to eat tonight, Jeff?
Anywhere but McDonald's.
Oh, yeah, one more thing. You, Morgan Spurlock.
Anywhere but McDonald's, you still have no other choice at the airport.
And there ain't no more Happy Meals, neither.
Welcome back, everybody. We are well in hour number 2, numero dos of Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester, streaming at WMNHradio.org and on the Facebook on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. It is Wednesday, February 3rd, 2021. And I am here along with Jenny. Jenny had to leave the room for a moment. She has a phone call that she's on, so I'm sure she'll be back. But if you'd like to call in, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also, I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at the chat room. You can also, of course, text me at 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. And, wow. Yeah, the chat room's been, completely taken over by a discussion which we will not be revisiting on the air, but you're welcome to. I do like seeing a very busy, active chat room. That's for sure. So y'all are free to talk about whatever you want in there. That's for sure. All right. Anyway, but yeah, give me a call 603-250-6007 if you would like to. If you would like to enter the discussion. Yeah, Christian, your comment in there is duly noted, by the way. Duly noted. Anyway. Oh, Scott Robinson says, Matt, my 3-year-old granddaughter, Amara, am I saying that correctly? Amara says, hi, give her a hello. Well, hello, Amara. That reminds me, of course, tomorrow. I'm pretty sure that's not it, Rocky. Tomorrow, of course, Easy G will be joining us in the second half hour via phone or perhaps via tablet. If he's gotten that up and running using Skype with his entertainment report. I know that Scott Robinson looks forward to getting those Amanda McCarthy tour dates. And tomorrow night, by the way, at 6 p.m., I will be calling in as I do the first Thursday of every month to the Dr. Kevin Show. And I'll post on social media on the Matt Connarton Unleashed page and other places where you can get access to that program. So that will be Thursday night from 6 to 7. Stephen Philbrook is a top fan in the Facebook live chat. He says, I want Jenny to let us know about the Jewish. Sorry, the chat room is so busy. I want Jenny to let us know about the Jewish laser technology she's been holding back. Yes. Well, that's a QAnon thing. Oh boy, you guys are amazing. I've quite an amazing listenership. All right. Anywho, moving along. I do want to remind everyone, of course, we are proudly sponsored by the Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street. Right across the street, they have delicious gourmet pretzels. They have craft beer. They have wine. They have trivia night every Wednesday night. Make sure you check that out, the Hop Knot. Oh, interesting. Gene Simmons just tweeted something out we'll look at in a moment. Speaking of Gene Simmons, it's interesting to watch in these times. If you're a regular listener, you already know my all-time favorite band is Kiss. And Kiss has never been overtly political, but both Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley have kind of been dabbling in politics a little bit with, expressing, when you're in a band, it's always a little bit of or when you're in anything, when you're in a band, whether you're a very successful film actor, anything like that, it's always a little bit risky expressing your political views publicly because you run the risk of alienating approximately 50% of your fan base. But both Gene and Paul have kind of waded into that a little bit. And Gene Simmons just shared out, he didn't comment on it, but he shared out this article from CBSNews.com. Newsmax anchor walks off camera during MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell appearance. It says here, a Newsmax actor walked off a show after MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell brought up election conspiracy theories during an interview on the conservative cable channel Tuesday. During American Agenda, apparently that's the name of the show, Lindell was asked about Twitter's decision to ban him and his company's account from the platform after he peddled misinformation about the 2020 presidential election, which he claims was stolen from former President Donald Trump. Instead, Lindell ripped Dominion Voting Systems, the company at the center of baseless conspiracy theories spouted by Mr. Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, and conservative lawyer Sidney Powell. The company filed lawsuits against both of them and threatened one against Newsmax. As Lindell began to discuss, co-author Bob Sellers reportedly interrupted him. We at Newsmax have not been able to verify any of those kinds of allegations, he said. We just want to let people know that there's nothing substantive that we have seen. And let me read you something. Let's see, there's a clip here, actually. Let's listen to the audio of this. This is actually in the tweet that was sent out. If it'll play.
With your Twitter account and the company page.
Well, first mine was taken down because we have all the election fraud with these Dominion machines. We have 100% proof. And then when they took it down about 3 weeks ago, and then I'm going to put it back up. My personal, it was a
Mike, thank you very much. Mike, you're talking about machines that we at Newsmax have not been able to verify any of those kinds of allegations. We just want to let people know that there's nothing substantive that we've seen. And let me read you something there. While there were some clear evidence of some cases of vote fraud and election irregularities, the election results in every state were certified, and Newsmax accepts the results as legal and final. The courts have also supported that view. So we wanted to talk to you about canceling culture, if you will. We don't want to relitigate the allegations that you're making, Mike, because we understand where you are. So let me ask you this. Do you think that this should be temporary because it appears to be permanent? Could you make an argument that it is temporary?
What?
Could you make an argument that this could be a temporary banning rather than permanent?
No, I want it to be a permanent because you know what? They did this because I'm revealing all the evidence on Friday of all the election fraud with these machines. So I'm sorry if you think it's not
Mike,
it's real.
Can I ask our producers, can we get out of here, please? I don't want to have to keep going over this.
Actually,
we at Newsmax have not been able to verify any of those allegations that you're
Mike, hold on a second. Everybody hold on a second. Mike, hold on 1 second. Let's talk a little bit about just what is happening overall in terms of censorship of...
Trying to cancel out my company and myself. In this country, it's cancel culture. They're trying...
So the part you can't see if you're just listening, but I'll share. I'll retweet that as well. The guy, because there's a male and a female interviewing Mike Lindell. The guy actually walks off set. I guess he just couldn't deal with it anymore. Melanie Feddersen in the chat room says, Melanie, she says, weird pillow guy has all the evidence, but none provided to the courts. Well, yeah, that's the thing. As I've said many times on the show, as I've pointed out, the reason that these cases get thrown out of every court is you can lie to the media all you want to. So whether you're Mike Lindell or you're Rudy Giuliani and you want to have a press conference at Four Seasons Lawn and Landscaping or whatever, you can say whatever crazy stuff you want and it doesn't matter. But when there's no consequence for that. We found out, Corey Lewandowski testified before Congress, New Hampshire's own, that, I was lying to the media. So what's the big deal? It's not a crime to lie to the media. So you can do that all you want. But what you cannot do is lie in a court of law, because you go to court and you take an oath. And if you lie in court, you are committing perjury and you might end up in prison. So, they say all this stuff. They say all this stuff Mike Lindell was just saying, but you can't repeat that in court. or you'll end up in jail. It's like, Lindsey Graham, Senator Lindsey Graham, the day of, Insurrection Day, we'll call it, January 6th, he said that night when they all went back to Congress to, finish the certification, he said, look, count me out because I've asked for some sort of evidence about all this alleged voter fraud, and nobody's come up with anything to show me. And you know how painful it must have been for Lindsey Graham to actually get off of the, for that one brief moment. He got right back on the Trump train, but he could no longer, go along with that. Jenny is back. Hello.
I am.
Yes.
I had to take care of something important for someone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Let's see. In response, again, this is from the CBS article. In response to the incident, the one where that anchor walked off the set while Lindell was yelling, Brian Peterson, a spokesperson for the company, said in a statement to CBS News, quote, Newsmax and its anchor only wanted to make clear that it has found no evidence of software manipulation involving the election. However, Mr. Lindell is entitled to his own opinion and has a different viewpoint than ours, unquote.
I read that. I saw that. I saw the video.
Yeah. Well, the reason I think Newsmax is because you would expect ideologically Newsmax would be all in on this voter fraud narrative, but now that, and I don't think he
literally brought up Dominion, and Dominion has a $1 billion lawsuit.
Well, that's why. That's why Newsmax got so.
They don't want to be in on that lawsuit.
Yeah, they're nervous about that.
He literally got up. I have never really seen that happen. He literally got up, and they had three people on the screen. They had Lindell, him, and this chick. And the guy literally just gets up and walks off the set.
Yeah.
Because Lindell won't stop with the Dominion. The Dominion,
Yeah.
How is this going to work next week, though? Because that's the same kind of stuff is it next week that they start the impeachment trial? I mean, the trial?
I thought it started tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow? Because this is going to be the same kind of garbage that they're going to be peddling.
I'm trying to reach. Oh, here we go. I just retweeted that for if you follow me on Twitter at Matt Connarton.
I missed something I did, didn't I?
What do you mean?
You tweeted something?
Yeah, that the clip of what happened on Newsmax.
Oh, yes.
And speaking of Lindsey Graham, let's see if I can.
Good old fashioned get you some sweet tea.
Find it again.
I need me some sweet tea to go along with my Bible.
Well, this jumped out at me. This is on Mediaite. Biden, and I did not get a chance to pre-look at this. Biden press secretary Jen Psaki, called out for, quote, homophobic tweet mocking Lindsey Graham.
Huh?
Yeah. Now, I don't know. I haven't read this yet. It says, before her current role as White House press secretary for the Biden administration, Jen Psaki was a paid contributor for CNN. Her prior experience as communications director under the Obama administration led to valuable insights into the messaging strategies and tactics under then President Donald Trump. But some of Psaki's partisan comments are coming back to haunt her, particularly one that is fairly viewed as homophobic. Interesting. At issue, the derisive and mocking term Lady G, which has been used by some progressives to mock Senator Lindsey Graham, who went from being a vocal critic of Trump to one of his most loyal toadies during a divisive time in U.S. political history. The idea behind the term is that Graham is closeted and supportive of Trump because he fears outing. Graham is a confirmed bachelor, but has many times denied he is homosexual, as if that matters. In short, Lady G is for many an offensive term, particularly for those who are fluent in the shifting world of identity politics. In August of last year, Psaki used the offensive phrase in a tweet critical of Graham's pushing of a bunch of, quote, a bunch of debunked conspiracy theories while questioning Sally Yates. So the actual tweet is, only in 2020 does hashtag Lady G get to push a bunch of debunked conspiracy theories while questioning at Sally Q Yates, a.k.a. an American hero. There is an old adage that the wind blows harder at the top of the totem pole I've never heard that, but that makes sense. And seen as Psaki is one of the more visible faces of the Biden administration, she is prone to scrutiny. As such, it should come with little surprise that this tweet was dug up by many on Twitter who quite reasonably called out her offensive use of the hashtag Lady G. And just people on Twitter saying that it was homophobic. Interesting. Well, I mean, I don't think she meant any malice, but that's not something I would have done either. You know? I mean, I don't know.
I don't either. I don't know. That one's different.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if she responds to that. If she, if she apologizes or clarifies, or I don't know.
If she's woman enough, she'll own up.
And then there's another thing. This also from Mediaite, a Fox News reporter asks Psaki if she will apologize for Space Force remarks. Oh, I was going to play that at the break. I
am so never apologizing for any of my space junk. I'm sorry.
Well, it says here, I have a feeling this one will be a bit more benign. But it says, actually, I might be able to play the audio of it. Maybe not. I hate Mediaite's web player. It says Fox News host, Fox News White House correspondent Kristen Fisher asked Press Secretary Jen Psaki if she would apologize for remarks she made when she was asked about Space Force during Tuesday's briefing. At issue was an exchange in which Psaki was asked if President Joe Biden has, quote, made a decision on keeping the scope of Space Force. And the press secretary said with a laugh, "Wow, Space Force. It's the plane of today." The quip was an apparent reference to a question about Air Force One's color scheme from Psaki's first day on the job. She added, quote, "It is an interesting question. I'm happy to check with our Space Force point of contact. I'm not sure who that is. I will find out and see if we have any update on that," unquote. So apparently she thought it was
because that's important. It don't matter
question.
That 100,000 more Americans died in the last month. But hey, let's talk about the color scheme and the Space Force.
Well, I am curious about the Space Force.
I think I think they should have been divided. It's the air. It should be just the Air Force. Okay, we didn't need another. We don't need another whole bureaucracy. Just the Air Force has been doing just fine all this time. I don't see why they need any help.
Yeah.
Seriously, we did not need Space Force.
Says that remark drew a demand for an apology from Representative Mike Rogers of Alabama and was also followed by a tweet from Psaki on the importance of the Trump-championed military branch. Psaki tweeted out, "We look forward to continuing work of Space Force and invite the members of the team to come visit us in the briefing room anytime to share an update on their important work." And then it goes on. She clarified that apparently the Biden administration is going to continue with that, with the Space Force.
Space Force.
So that's fun. Also, too, speaking of
what?
Oh yeah, we have time. I wanted to get to this on the election fraud front. Kat Kerr, who we have talked about on the show before. This is from rightwingwatch.org, and there's some fun stuff on there that we haven't gotten to lately, but Kat Kerr claims a talking scroll in heaven will soon expose massive voter fraud. Now, this is a fascinating development if she's right, because I will be the first to apologize if I was wrong about this voter fraud thing. I'm not going to, for the sake of my own salvation, argue with a talking scroll from heaven. It says here, self-proclaimed prophetess and weather warrior Kat Kerr spoke at One Accord Christian Fellowship Church in Orlando, Florida Sunday, where she continued to insist that Donald Trump is the rightful president of the United States. Kerr knows this, she claimed, because a talking scroll named Justice had been, yes, talking scrolls have names, named Justice had been opened in heaven when Joe Biden was inaugurated on January 20th and will soon expose the massive voter fraud that she claims was responsible for stealing the election from Trump. Kerr was among the various prophets who guaranteed that Trump would be reelected, and she remains adamant that her prophecies were accurate.
She's the second coming of Mary.
Despite the fact that Biden is now president. So Kerr declared this: "At this moment in time, in reality, in legality, Donald J. Trump is our president right now. He won. Heaven knows it, and they're celebrating the win. The enemy thought, this is my time. Guess what? They want to take over the world. Hell wants to take over the world. And right now, they're jumping ahead. It's not going to work." This is what happened on January 20th, 2021. There was a scroll open in heaven. The scroll's name is called Justice. Things began to be sent down to this earth at an accelerated rate. The Holy Spirit is setting something in place, something that will become a move of God that will touch this whole earth and will make things very visible for hell.
I know why. Maddie, I just found the reason why.
Yeah?
You know how they keep saying that they're going to re-anoint Trump back into the office on March 5th?
March 4th.
No, it was the 5th.
I thought it was the 4th. Okay.
No, it was the 5th, and I found out why.
Yeah?
Because March 5th is National Cheese Doodle Day.
Oh, well, that's exciting.
That's why it's March 5th. It's also National Absence Day, and it's also National Multiple Personalities Day. But the fact that it's Cheese Noodle Day, and we know how cheese noodles and the orange dude go together.
Yes.
That's why it's March 5th. See?
Oh, okay.
I was paying attention.
She went on to say, the scroll is a piece of paper on a wooden dowel. It's a living thing. When it's opened, it speaks itself, it reads itself, so it's released on the earth.
Releases itself? You mean it pees on it?
No.
That's what you meant, right?
I don't think so. So things have already been set in place. You can't see it unless you're a seer. And I keep telling people, if you were a seer, you'd see demons running and screaming from D.C. as fast as they can get out of here, unquote. Wow. Well, that's very exciting. I'd prefer Biden to continue to be our president. I don't wish for it to revert to Trump, but I am excited about the talking scroll.
Maybe, all right, if it's a scroll, then we can deduce that it's made out of some kind of paper. So do we feed it sap?
No, she said that. It's paper on a wooden dowel.
So we feed it sap? What do you feed that?
I didn't think you feed.
It'll starve if it comes here. We don't know what to do.
Well, I don't know about that. I think it'll be all right.
Oh, I'm giddy. I'm just giddy.
Wow. Let's see. Let me give the. Something's going on in the chat room, I guess, huh?
No, the Jewish lasers will not take out the talking scroll.
Oh, yes.
The Jewish lasers were specifically designed to start fires in California, remember?
Yes.
Or was it Washington State?
The Jewish space lasers. Very exciting.
Paid for by Soros and the little green lizard men.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Of course.
I think I got it.
We have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hello, Matt Connarton. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I just want to say, that I stand by everything I wrote in that letter. President Trump is still our president. He will prevail. Now, if you'll excuse me, my unicorn is double parked. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you, Congresswoman. Wow, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Voice got an awful deeper there, didn't it?
She has a deep voice.
I didn't realize.
I did not realize she had such a deep voice.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah.
Very baritone-ish.
It's all the cue, I guess.
That she, sleeps with or eats?
I don't know.
How does that work?
I don't know. Cue, it just turns your voice deep. She has a deeper voice than our friend Q, who calls.
Oh, don't say friend.
Rocky Huber is asking, are the Jewish space lasers kosher?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, you should find out.
the most ridiculous thing I've ever.
For anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, one of the things that Q and of course Marjorie Taylor Greene, as far as I know, the only openly Q individual in all of Congress, openly, they believe that there are Jewish space lasers.
Yes, she really said that, and she really believes it. Yep. And she still supports the insurrectionists like a whole bunch of the other ones do. And you know what gets me about that, Matt? This is what I wanted to bring up today because I said something to you earlier.
Yeah?
What happened today in the Capitol? Oh, yeah. A Capitol police officer Sedgwick? I'm saying his name wrong. Sicknick, thank you. Laid in honor in the Capitol Rotunda today while he was honored by everybody for dying in the Capitol while you insurrectionist pigs did what you did. And now you still, even today, even on this day when we laid a man in his grave at Arlington Cemetery, a place of honor, you're still making excuses for these people. You're still in the good fight with them. You're a treason. You're treasonous. You're a Judas. You don't know what this country stands for if that's what you do. Because the last time I checked, my country did not stand for that.
Well,
but it's not lost on me of what happened today. Yeah. And it better not be lost on other people too. We need to remember the people that died. That man is not here to be with his children anymore. I watched the funeral service in the Rotunda and my heart broke. And yours should too. And if it doesn't, what the heck is wrong with you?
Yeah. TheHill.com is reporting the House is voting tomorrow to drop Greene from all, or whether to drop Greene from all committees. It says House Democratic leaders are gearing up to vote Thursday on legislation stripping Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican of Georgia, of her committee spots unless Republican leaders do it first. Which I don't
House
think
Democratic leaders are gearing up to vote Thursday on legislation stripping Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene of her committee assignments unless Republican leaders do it first. House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer spoke with House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy about Greene's fate Wednesday morning. Hoyer suggested afterwards that the GOP leader is not ready to remove the controversial conservative firebrand from a pair of top committees. The proposal would remove Greene from two plum committee assignments, Budget and Education and Labor, for the remainder of Congress.
There you go.
And that's just because she's a public servant doesn't protect her. There are certain things that we can do. We can insist that she be removed from her committees. We can have her sanctioned. We should have her tossed out on her ear. No one should be a public servant who doesn't know what that job means. It's not about you. Not about you in any way, shape, or form. It's about the people that are depending on you to make the right choices at the right time on the right bills. And this woman needs to be removed. She's on education. She has no business on education with the bull that she feeds into. That's on education, really?
Scott Robinson says, what is going on with reps, state and federal? Are they all going crazy?
Seriously, right? There was a New Hampshire state rep that showed up for a committee meeting with no mask, no nothing, didn't care, had recently come back from a trip to Florida.
You can say
that
was
Al Baldessaro.
Al Baldessaro, yeah.
Yeah. What a piece of work that one. What a piece of work that one. But, this is a person who doesn't give a care about himself, never mind others. He really, I'll say that because every one of us that were up there with him watched the man have a heart attack and then go outside and have a cigarette. So I guess that's where his intelligence lies. If that's, I don't know, maybe he still does because I used to watch him go. I used to go out there with him. I used to be a smoker.
Yeah.
He should have quarantined when he came back. He refused to. And you know why? Because the Speaker of the House said he is essential personnel. So he's not required. He can go around. He's got a workaround. He's got a waiver, just like Trump. He set his little waivers up. Oh, state of New Hampshire Speaker apparently gives a waiver to anybody if you leave the state and you potentially have gotten exposed to anything, you can come back and do whatever you want because you're essential. That's smart. Not. I don't know. What is it with these people? You give them a title and they think they got all that in a bag of chips and they don't know the first thing about what they're doing anyway.
Yeah. Kevin McCarthy also, he's kind of on the spot about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I forget if when they have their meeting. I think that might also be tomorrow.
This woman believes all the weirdest stuff I've ever heard. Like, she legit believes that there is a secret cabal controlling our country. And there's another secret group of people that are secretly working with Trump, who is still president, secretly.
Yeah.
And she took it off to uphold the Constitution. Where is that in the Constitution?
Where? Even Alex Jones doesn't like QAnon anymore and all this.
Oh, he's out on his own now.
Yeah.
He's somebody that should be arrested. He was down there.
Yeah.
He incited violence. He was yelling and screaming at the top of his lungs, telling people to fight.
Yeah.
He should be up on charges.
Kevin McCarthy, according to Mediaite, says he condemns Marjorie Taylor Greene's comments, but denounces efforts to kick her off committees. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy is speaking out after his... so that was today, his meeting with Marjorie Taylor Greene. He's saying he condemns her past remarks, but is also railing against efforts to strip her of her committee assignments. Some Republicans have been openly talking about removing Greene from the Education Committee, and after Mitch McConnell publicly blasted the Georgia Congresswoman, more and more of her colleagues publicly spoke up to decry her conspiratorial comments. Quote, past comments, this is from McCarthy's statement. Actually... Well, okay, I'll just read the quote. Past comments from and endorsed by Marjorie Taylor Greene on school shootings, political violence, and anti-Semitic conspiracy theories do not represent the values or beliefs of the House Republican Conference. I condemn those comments unequivocally. I condemned them in the past. I continue to condemn them today. This House condemned QAnon last Congress and continues to do so today, unquote. But he added... she recognized the significance of her past comments, and his statement does not list any disciplinary actions. Oh, give me a
break. She recognized it now?
Yeah.
No, she's a racist piece of poop that needs to be removed from office. How is this allowed in the 21st century, we're in this modern age, that we can still have somebody in Congress that is a racist piece of poop?
Well, it's
not that far-fetched. People who believe that there's a Jewish secret cabal that created these freaking laser stuff are the same people that will go out there and tell you the Holocaust never happened.
They're
same people.
They're space lasers, to be specific.
I'm going to whack you.
Just saying.
I'm just going to whack you.
Well, I mean, it does sound pretty cool, space lasers.
Oh. Is there a Jewish secret ship in the sky that's shooting these?
Well, I just want to know if they make noise.
She also believes.
Like,
let's put some more context. This is the same woman that believes that JFK was murdered by the Clintons.
Oh no, JFK Jr.
Jr.
Yes,
was murdered by the Clintons. He
right.
actually went down on a plane, but
yeah.
She believes these bizarre conspiracies. I'd really like to know if she thinks the Earth is flat or not.
Oh, she might.
I just want to know if she's on that bandwagon too. I mean, it's not that far-fetched.
Can never be sure with that one because the flat earthers are kind of on their own plane. So there's a little more from McCarthy's statement. He said, I've made this clear to Marjorie when we met. I also made clear that as a member of Congress, we have a responsibility to hold ourselves to a higher standard than how she presented herself as a private citizen. Her past comments now have much greater meaning. Marjorie recognized that in our conversation, I hold her to her word as well as her actions going forward. Yeah, it's a bunch of empty words.
Yeah. Means nothing. Literally means nothing.
I mean, Mitch McConnell has really been the most forceful.
Well, you know what? No, he hasn't, because he should. If he was going to be that forceful, then why hasn't there been something filed with ethics for a review under ethics? Anytime a state,
she's in the House, he's in the Senate, but
that's true.
But I just mean in terms of comments, he's been the most forceful in condemning.
Why isn't she being brought up in front of ethics? Why does she just get a little speaking to? This is not speaking to. This is ethics.
Because
if it was here in New Hampshire, I tell you what, there's a lot of people that would march over to ethics and put and file.
I got distracted by the.
Did I miss something?
Rocky's comments.
Oh, about I saw this. Somebody else was going to run for office.
No, Rocky said, I bet they used the laser to cut bagels.
Seriously. You guys are just awful. You're awful. We cannot. I feel like I owe the public. I apologize for these people. We thought we raised him right. We failed.
No, we did, because it's a reflection of the absurdity of it all, which is a good thing.
I know, right?
But Ross Story put this story up, and I shared this out earlier. Mitch McConnell isn't fooling anyone. Marjorie Taylor Greene is the true face of the modern GOP. And I think that's true, because there's a couple metrics you can look at here without getting into hard numbers. If you look at polling data, just off the top of my head, I know a vast majority of Republicans believe still that the election was stolen by Biden, that Biden stole the election from Trump. I think I saw one poll, Trump still has an 85% approval rating among Republicans. So they're still...
That's insane to me.
So they're still all in with Trump. But what also is happening is that people in record numbers are changing their party affiliation, either from Republican to Democrat or Republican to Independent. So people are leaving the Republican Party in numbers we haven't seen before. So what that will cause over time, I believe, is, so we already have, people don't realize how many independents there really are. It doesn't get talked about, but
this is true.
Last I looked, 41% of the American electorate is undeclared, neither Republican or Democrat. So that number will swell.
I bet that's already very swollen. Yeah. I'm far from alone in leaving the Republican Party. That's for sure.
But as the Republican, so the people who stay, if the people who stay are the ones who are all in with Trump and with Marjorie Taylor Greene and with QAnon and all of this, all the conspiracy theories.
Libertarians and Republicans in that pool, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Libertarians are on board with that.
Which is incredible to me. So the party is going to go more and more in that direction, because the people who don't want to go in that direction are leaving.
See, I had hoped that when this came out in the wash, when he left office, that we would see some kind of a getting back to the Reagan era Republican type person.
Yeah.
But that's not the case.
No.
That's not the case at all. And I mean, just look at Cheney. She's third ranking, and she was getting threatened.
Yeah.
Until McConnell came out and supported her, and then he made his little statement, but that's it.
Yeah, they're actually trying to get rid of her. Instead of trying to get rid of Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're more concerned now with getting rid of Liz Cheney, because Liz Cheney came out against Trump.
See, what I'm wondering now, though, is there going to be...
And she's a very conservative person, by the way. She's very conservative.
And it does make me wonder, could this actually potentially lead into a new establishment of a party? Because the Republicans of today, the Marjorie Greene Republicans, are not the Reagan Republicans, necessarily.
Right.
And some of those people, I would like to think that they're done with the no family value routine that was going around. I mean, I'd like to think that, but I don't know that that's necessarily the truth.
Yeah.
I'd like to think it, but
it's still very, Kevin McCarthy, he went and met with Trump. They're still very much beholden to Trump. And, I see people on these shows and hear people on these political shows going, I don't understand why. I mean, he's an ex-president. He's been impeached twice. Why are they still clinging to him? But it's not. It's because that's the base.
Because
the base is still the base of the party is still all in with Trump.
It's Jerry Springering politics. Jerry Springer is Trump, and there you go. The crowd and the guests are his followers. They're all into that.
Yeah.
No matter what, that man could literally do anything, and they would still support.
Oh yeah.
It's this bizarre, blind cult-like. It is cult-like.
Yeah.
It is very much cult-like. You're either with us or you're against us.
Yep.
You know, and it's we're interpreting the Constitution right, not you.
Yeah.
It must be replenished with the blood of patriots from time to time.
We'll just take a look at this briefly before we run out of time. This is from Ross Story. This article about McConnell. Because he basically, and he actually, even he didn't dare speak Marjorie Taylor Greene's name.
Wild.
I mean, everyone knew who he was talking about, but he said, let me scroll down here. Sorry. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, the QAnon-loving construction heiress that recently won a deep red congressional seat in Georgia, is getting quite a bit of attention for her nutty, violent, and racist views that she has long enjoyed sharing freely on social media. There is no doubt she's a doozy. All right, let me scroll down here. Okay, so the whole situation is apparently too much for Mitch McConnell, who started to insult Greene in public on Monday in a belated bid to suggest that the QAnon faction is more fringe in the Republican Party than it actually is. He said, quote, "Loony lies and conspiracy theories are cancer for the Republican Party and our country," unquote. McConnell groused in a statement that named Greene explicitly. Senator Todd C. Young of Indiana, a close colleague of McConnell's, picked up the baton on Tuesday, calling Greene nutty and, quote, "an embarrassment to our party." Okay, so there's somebody else who actually has a little bit of courage.
Well, why isn't anybody taking her to ethics? Because none of them have the guts to do it.
No
guts.
It's tempting to be comforted by these words and to imagine that powerful Republicans are drawing a line in the sand when it comes to how far the party will go in catering to the extremist element. In reality, however, it's just a feint to make McConnell appear to be a reasonable person while he continues to empower and support the fascistic faction of the GOP. This is about looking good to the cable news pundits while not doing anything substantive that would actually curtail the power of the Trumpist right. And there's a lot more to this article. We don't have time to go through the whole thing, but it kind of raises the question. I mean, I don't know how much of that is McConnell just trying to make himself look good. I mean, McConnell doesn't have to, he just won re-election. He doesn't have to worry about being primaried from the right, but
that's why he's not doing anything.
But I think the one sincere thing about McConnell might be that he does genuinely care. I mean, he is an institutionalist, and I think he does genuinely care about the future of the Republican Party because he genuinely cares about maintaining power.
But he's not enough to do something.
Well,
he cares, but not enough to get off of the fence and actually make a. He's trying to go out of both sides of his mouth. He's trying to play middle. He's trying to keep his popularity to a point, and he wants his people to follow him because. If he ticks off too many of them there and they're not willing to follow along with him, that's a whole new other issue for him. When he's trying to whip things up, it's not going to go well.
Yeah. Looking for that Space Force song. I have a specific one in mind. I do want to end with that.
I think that he's too little too late. He's barely saying anything, and what he is saying doesn't really have a whole lot of teeth in it, and it's too little too late. That's what it is for me. I mean, he should have been standing up a long time ago.
Well, what a lot of people point out is, where's he been for the last 4 years?
Exactly.
Now he speaks out.
Too little, too late.
Yeah.
Not going to happen. I didn't like what she said. Ooh. That's nothing. How about ethics? How about censure? How about something, anything that even remotely sounds like she was, disciplined for her actions?
Well, the other problem is, though, too, these things, we're talking about things that happened before she was in Congress. So that might be an issue. How do you discipline her for things that happened before she was in Congress as a Congresswoman? You
could censure her for the belief because she's continued it while in Congress. She has not denounced those beliefs. She's continued it. It's like a David Duke thing.
They can at least kick her off those committees, yeah.
In the very least, yeah. She's the person you want making decisions about how your little one gets educated, don't you?
But
we labor laws? Really?
We are out of time. So, Jenny, thank you. And
it's been a full day.
Thank you to Tony D. And who else did we hear from today? Who else called us?
I'm not sure.
Somebody else call us?
I'm not sure.
The phone was quieter than usual.
Yeah. It was nice.
Kind of nice, actually.
Yeah, it was.
Don't get me wrong. We love getting calls, but
We got through a whole.
It was a
whole subject.
A little less aimless rambling than usual today.
It was nice to get through a whole subject.
Yes.
I like that.
If you missed any part of today's show, it'll be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org. Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene called.
Oh, yes, that's it.
Oh, which reminds me, I don't know why Marjorie Taylor Greene's call reminds me of this, but don't forget Retro Spectrum Radio, Friday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. right here on WMNH. And we have a lava lamp now here in the studio for those of you watching online.
It's
which
pretty.
Which will look really cool when the lights are dim for Retro Spectrum
Friday
Radio.
night.
Yes.
All right. When you boys are playing in the dark.
Yes. All right, we got to go. Here's a little Space Force for you. We'll talk to y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.